What's up, guys? Boy Benny. Donald Trump is in court again today. Donald Trump regularly goes up and speaks to the press at the courthouse, even though he's under a gag order. Donald Trump very artfully and beautifully defends himself and gives breaking news in miniature campaign speeches that are carried live across all of the cable news networks, creating effectively a campaign environment inside of the courthouse. It is remarkable to see, but there is something very special. A bit of an Easter egg in Donald Trump's commentary from today. Behind Donald Trump, typically, is a phalanx of police officers and legal counselors. But today, there was a sprinkling of political intrigue behind him. Our sharp-eyed sleuths at The Benny Show spied Senator J.D. Vance standing behind Donald Trump, along with Eric Trump, you can see right here, Tommy Tuberville, who's also a senator, and Nicole Malliotakis, who's a member of Congress, a congresswoman from the state of New York. But J.D. Vance is of note because not only is J.D. Vance a massive rising star and very popular, iconic author and personality on the right, but J.D. Vance is also a finalist on Donald Trump's vice presidential list. So has the apprentice of the vice presidency finally made it to the courthouse? Ladies and gentlemen, you can see here Donald Trump talking this morning as J.D. Vance filed in.
The New York Times just came out
behind him
with a poll.
Is this
us leading everywhere by a lot.
J.D. Vance standing behind his man? Also, Donald Trump going over the new polling from this morning that shows him rocketing to the head of the pack, leading Joe Biden by 12 and 10 points in some swing states.
And I think you'll find it very interesting, but I'm sure you've all read it. Leading in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Michigan, Georgia, and Nevada.
Check this out.
Nevada.
J.D. Vance taking a photo.
Actually by 12 points.
Classic millennial.
Which is
there. Like I said, J.D. Vance taking a photo there.
I think we're probably leading in New Jersey. We had a rally, over 100,000 people this weekend. A lot of the mainstream media didn't want to say how many people. They didn't want to cover.
Donald Trump talking about his campaign, talking about campaigning, while his vice president potentially stands behind him, snapping pics for the gram. Look at that. What a photo. Look at this. What a great photo. Man, who captured this one? This is the one that's been rocketing around the internet. Everybody is saying, whoa, 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 whoa. How's this vice presidential candidate, J.D. Vance, standing right behind Trump? We need Republicans to be here every single day. Rand Paul and Ted Cruz, get your asses to New York. Tuberville and J.D. Vance in Manhattan. A lot of people saying that this makes J.D. Vance the favorite. J.D. Vance has been on cable news defending Donald Trump on CNN from these charges.
Thing that Alvin Bragg, the New York prosecutors team, thinks Donald Trump did wrong is that he ran for president in 2024 and he looks to be on the cusp of victory. That is the only thing that this is ultimately about. If you look at the underlying argument of the case, they can't even identify what it is that Donald Trump did. They said he committed a paperwork violation in the service of a crime, but they won't even specify the crime that he allegedly committed. And I think that when you look at all of these attacks on Donald Trump, you have to be honest with yourself and say, this is not about law and this is not about justice. This is about the fact that President Joe Biden has a failed record as commander-in-chief and leader of this country, and the Democrats can't talk about that. So what they're doing is putting these trials out there and saying, focus on this, not on the fact that the world is on fire and the fact that you have gotten poorer under the presidency of Joe Biden.
Yeah. So these are some of the comments from J.D. Vance at the trial of Donald Trump. Hot take, J.D. Vance as VP. Trump should then pressure the Ohio governor to put somebody else into the seat. Some people are saying that it might be Marco Rubio and that was what the meeting with DeSantis was all about. But J.D. Vance getting lots of love online for attending here and standing behind Donald Trump. J.D. Vance is starting to grow on me. The entire Republican Party should be there today. That's a matter of fact. UC Tuberville and J.D. Vance back their patriots. Yeah. People are saying this is the look and that this is really, really good for J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance posting on X at Trump Trial Today, some observation. We started with Trump Tower, beautiful view of Central Park. Then you come to this dingy little courthouse. People like Alvin Bragg, they prevent his supporters from getting too close to the courthouse, and then they prevent his friends from standing too close to him. The president expected to sit here for 6 weeks to listen to Michael Cohen of all the world. I'm convinced the main goal of this trial is psychological torture. Trump is in great spirits, says J.D. Vance. Caroline Leavitt, who is Donald Trump's official campaign spokesperson, national press secretary, J.D. Vance and Tommy Tuberville having a presser outside of the courthouse in New York. J.D. Vance making a lot of news with his commentary from that presser. One like this.
What I've witnessed so far in my couple hours in there. First of all, Michael Cohen is the prosecution's star witness. This guy is a convicted felon who admitted in his testimony that he secretly recorded his former employer, that he only did it once, allegedly, and that this was supposed to help Donald Trump. Does any reasonable, sensible person believe anything that Michael Cohen says? I don't think that they should, and I actually think that his testimony is going to hurt with any reasonable juror, and hopefully we have a few of those. I want to say two other things here very quickly. Number one, the thing that the president is prevented from saying, which is a disgrace, is that every single person involved in this prosecution is practically a Democratic political operative. The judge inside, his daughter, is making millions of dollars running against Donald Trump, raising money for Donald Trump's political opponents. The number 3 person in the Department of Justice, Biden's Department of Justice, left to become a local prosecutor to go after Donald Trump. And of course, there's Alvin Bragg, a Soros-funded prosecutor who promised to go after Donald Trump and now is doing exactly that. Now, look, whether you love Donald Trump, whether you like Donald Trump, or whether you're a Democrat or don't care about politics, what's going on inside that courtroom is a threat to American democracy, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot have a country where you get to prosecute your political opponents instead of persuading voters. Joe Biden's entire strategy is to try to distract from inflation at home and war overseas with this sham trial. I just want to live in a reasonable country where we try to persuade voters in our politics. We don't try to throw our political opponents in jail. So this is a disgrace, and I wanted to be here to show some support for my friend.
So, I mean, listen, man, if you're auditioning to become vice president of the United States, this is one way to do it. This trial is a disgrace, and I want to be here to show some support. The first vice presidential contender to show up to court with Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, auditions for VP, according to the New York Times. News from the Sunday shows, J.D. Vance was all over the Sunday shows this weekend, and people are starting to notice, wait a second, J.D. Vance visited the Trump trial. Is this the new VP test? Along with this pretty epic photo of J.D. Vance and Microsoft Paint, I guess, courtship. This is what Semaphore has for graphic designers. Psychological torture, VP contender J.D. Vance slams Trump hush money trial in front of court, doing press, doing media on behalf of Trump. VP wannabe J.D. Vance. Everybody's making the same conclusion here. Just the same conclusion. This is hot fire. Donald Trump posting, this is hot fire. Donald Trump Jr. To the American voters who are watching this, one opportunity you get to speak up against this sham prosecution. An American elects the president, not corrupt DNC prosecutors. Vote them out and vote for Donald Trump in November. J.D. Vance, of course, making it clear. And Donald Trump, we will remind you, posted our photo last week on his Truth Social, including J.D. Vance. What did we say? Is the vice president in this photo of Donald Trump on stage at Mar-a-Lago, and J.D. Vance was standing right behind the president. So there's J.D. Vance right there. I don't know. He is in the list for the finalists. Now, who the hell knows, right? Who the hell knows? But the VP list for the finalists is J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Tim Scott, and Doug Burgum. This was what was reported by Politico and by Bloomberg. So there you go. What do you guys think of J.D. Vance? I'll tell you, the guy makes a very compelling case. I've loved his hits on Fox News. Like he's been a champion in the Senate, and he's America first as it gets. He is a patriot, and he's somebody who clearly loves his country a great deal. Somebody who I think would make an incredible VP candidate. Is he my favorite contender for the vice presidency? He's near the top. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. Our word from the Trump campaign remains the same, that there is no selection yet, And anybody who claims to know what Donald Trump is thinking inside of his brain should go consult a doctor, okay? Because you're not telepathic. Donald Trump's going to make this decision in Trump time, but J.D. Vance being at the courthouse today is a show of force and probably bumps him up on the list. J.D. Vance was asked point blank, will you be the vice president? And here's what he had to say.
Vetted? Are you having conversations about joining the ticket?
I talked to President Trump a lot. We're very close. I've never spoken to him about being vice president, so I assume that a lot of this is media speculation. Of course, if he asked me, I'd have to think seriously about it because I think it's really important that he win. The world is on fire, and I sort of see Donald Trump as a bit of a fireman.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Smart. J.D. Vance is a very smart man. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Vice President Vance? Huh? Kind of has a ring to it. So yeah.